I'm super excited about this video, but if this is your first time here on our channel and you have absolutely no idea who we are, then I invite you to watch our video how a $100 field recorder changed my life from hobby to business. You can find the link right here, and then you get an understanding how I could come from a $100 field recorder to an almost $9,000 field recording kit. In all honesty, and let's just keep this between us, I always dreamed about having this kit, and if I would have bought it in the first place, maybe it would have saved us a lot of money. But it's also fun for us now to watch all our previous equipment videos and just follow along the process of what microphones are actually used and for what purpose they are, because a lot of these microphones have very different polar patterns. But not just this, also how do you position your microphones? These are also very important things that I learned in the process. But one of the most important things that I learned is trusting in myself and also into the business of 3D Sounds. And if 3D Sounds wouldn't have become so successful, I wouldn't have bought this field recording kit. Let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about the equipment. Also, there's a link in the description that brings you to all the parts that you see here, but also other parts. So if you want the same kit, it's all in the description down below that brings you to B&H. So now let's start with the Rycote Cyclone. Now, if you're one of them who already knows what the Rycote Cyclone is, it's great. But there are also people watching who maybe have no idea. This is the wind protection kit for the 3 microphones that we have in here. This is a con box. So with this, it connects the 3 Schoeps microphones with 2 cardioids and 1 figure 8. But this part is also part of this, because if you want to have wind protection, we should close it off. So let me just show you how you can do this. And these are magnets. I'm not going to go too deep into the Cyclone, because maybe I do another video. If you're interested in having like a specific video about certain types, just leave me a comment down below. But it's actually very, very easy. All what you need to do is you can clip this in here. And you see it's already done. That's it. And then this is extra. So this set alone without the microphones is about $1,000, $1,035. If you want an extra wind cover, this is already great. But if you still want an extra cover like that's another $180. And then you already have a beautiful wind protection. And I want to show you, if you already watched some of our videos or you don't, this is a brand, Rycote, from the United Kingdom. But I also used in the past this one here. And I love using Cinela. This is a great company. This one is about $1,300. And what we have in here, we have 2 microphones. So you see we have 3 microphones in here. It's DMS, double mid-side. And here we have 2 Sennheisers and an ORTF. If you have absolutely no idea what that means, it's time for you to learn about polar pattern and positioning about microphones. And if you know a little bit more about this, then you get a way better understanding what kind of microphones you need for the recordings that you want to do. Now that we talked briefly about the Cyclone, let's talk about what's inside. Also, if you're wondering what that is, if you have no idea, this is the boom connectors, also from Rycote. So you can find this all in the detailed list that you find in the description down below. Now when we open up the Cyclone, you see this is a magnet. It means you can open and close it very quick, and also it doesn't create a lot of noise. Because if you have a lot of screws, you would have a lot of noise. So with that said, having a magnet is pretty smart. So now when we take this out, now what do we have in here? I already told you. So these are 2 Schoeps CCM4 cardioid microphones, and one of them is about $1,800. So you come up to $3,600, but then you also need the figure 8, and the figure 8 from Schoeps is about $2,200, $2,300. So it is a lot of money. But now if you're wondering what is Schoeps, I never heard about Schoeps. People who work in sound, professional sound engineers, they know Schoeps. And if you want to compare it with a camera company, we could say Schoeps is like top of the line. I would say like Leica, for example. And as I have mentioned before, this here is a con box. So what does it do is all these 3 microphones go in here, and then we have here a 7-pin. That means we need a special cable, right? We need a cable that can create a 7-pin XLR to a 3-pin 3 XLR. Meaning, when we have a recorder like a Sound Devices MixPre-6, MixPre-3 or Zoom F6 or any other recorder, you know, we have 3 microphones. That means we have to attach them to 3 XLR inputs. If I would have gone with Schoeps, I would have waited a long time until I could get these cables, but then I remember that Ambient makes these cables too. And Ambient is another great company from Germany that not only creates boom poles and, you know, the Slate and the Nanolock and the Hydrophones. If you already watched one of our videos about the ASF1 and ASF2, this is the same company and they creating these cables. Now what we have here is, and they're not cheap, I have to tell you. I paid 300 euro for 3 of these cables. I ordered an extra of the breakout cables because I'm like, I know myself, you know. I also want to make a video later. The next video is about how to connect your DMS to the sound devices with headphone, you know, headphone out. These are all important things. And where do you actually plug in which microphone in which track? These are also very important things, and there isn't so much information about it because not so many people are actually using DMS. It's very unique. Now, what do we have here? We have this 7-pin XLR, and what we do is we plug this in here. And now we're almost connected. Because now what we're doing is we have the 7-pin to 3 XLR breakout cable. So we have 3 XLR with 3 pins. And then what we're doing is we plug this in here. And then these XLR outputs go into the recorder. And in the next video I show you exactly what's the best setting is to make this all work. We are almost at the end of the video, and as you can see, I already put it all back together. But there's one thing that I always wanted to tell you if you haven't noticed yet. 3DO Sounds is not a review channel. We don't review gear. No, we're using the gear on a day-to-day basis to create our sound libraries that you can find either on our Bandcamp account or on our main website. And for DMS, I'm going to create a complete new product page. And if you are one of the people who like to know when the first DMS recordings are available, make sure that you follow us on our Instagram account, because that's where I do daily Insta stories and daily updates. So make sure you follow us there as well. And with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in our next video.